when you've healed from stuff in your own life, it's easier to communicate, act like nothing happened. And even if you're not like that, you'll start to see that you'll become that. So even if you feel like you don't have confidence, even if you feel like you don't got the demeanor, the swag, whatever, you still gotta tell yourself that you do. So what's up? It's your boy Sadaris in the building with another video in case you didn't know. Part 2 of how to talk to women. So the last part I talked about, you gotta have confidence, tonality. So after you have the confidence, you have to have the tonality. Now when it comes to tonality, I'm probably not the most perfect person when it comes to tonality, but it comes down to your demeanor. So confidence and demeanor is two different things. So say you on FaceTime, say you talking to a girl in person, you gotta have a certain level of boldness, but you also gotta have a certain level of like nonchalantness and not caring. So, cause I'm saying, like you may be talking to a girl, you may study. You may be talking to a girl and say you still a nice guy. You might slip up and say something soft. You gotta be able to maneuver out of that and just be like, act like nothing happened. You say you insecure about your body and she say like, oh, you scrawny, like you look like a stick or something like that, and then you like, or she sees that you're offended by that. You gotta automatically make a joke out of it so she doesn't think that she like chinked a part of your armor like she actually got you, because that's gonna make you appear more like unfazable. I'm not trying to say you can't be phased, but you know, you gotta give off that demeanor. And even if you're not like that, you'll start to see that you'll become that. So when I talk about having a stuttering problem and stuff like that on camera, what I would do is, even if I would stutter, I would tell myself in the mirror, like in my head, I'm like, man, it's whatever. Like I don't have a stuttering problem, even if I would stutter. So I'm saying, even if you somebody that you feel like you're not that confident, you don't have the demeanor, you still gotta tell yourself that you do. As a man, think even his heart, so is he. So even if you feel like you don't have confidence, even if you feel like you don't got the demeanor, the swag, whatever, you still gotta tell yourself that you do. I don't even like saying that you gotta feel like you him, which you gotta feel like, you gotta feel like and believe that you're that guy, because if you don't, then why would the girl you talking to think that? So I'm saying, you gotta believe and think that to yourself first. Like, nah, I'm that dude. Like, I'm confident, nonchalant, whatever. And the reason why being nonchalant is important is because it shows a certain level of, you know, being stoic. When you show that you're unmoved, it shows a level of like emotional intelligence to a girl. It shows that she can, you know, trust you with her emotions. Women have a bunch of different emotions, so if she sees that you're stable in yours, she'll be like, I could just be soft, I could just be myself around him, because she knows, okay, he's not gonna panic, he's not gonna act like me. I don't gotta worry about, you know, whatever, if she's on her period or whatever, and then saying something to you, or you just gonna be, you know, stressed out and stuff like that. So when it comes to being nonchalant and stuff like that, you just gotta know that just don't take a bunch of stuff serious. That's just in life in general. When it comes to dealing with women, a lot of it just correlates to life. Like if you in the workplace, say you making content, like I make content. I got over 10K followers on TikTok, Instagram. My videos ain't getting like no views right now. So what I tell myself, if I see a video getting no views, I automatically just think, all right, my video is good. I'm not focusing on the algorithm. I'm not focusing on the watch time. I'm not focusing on no comments. All I'm focusing on is putting out a video. I put out a video, but whatever it does, that's what it does. So it takes the emotion out of it and it gives you more power. So now you can just post in peace. I'm not thinking about, oh dang, I need to. You'll start to become overwhelmed, and now you're thinking about, dang, I gotta do the algorithm change, the watch time, I gotta do this, now you can't even hear from God at that point. Why? Because you're being dragged in all these different directions. The same thing when it comes to talking to women. When say she's telling you something and she's like, oh, I'm stressed, I feel overwhelmed, I feel this, I feel that, I feel that. You gotta know that she doesn't actually, she's panicking, you know, she's not actually saying like she is really, you know, dealing with all that stuff. I'm not saying don't listen to her. What I am saying is, you know, you gotta know that when women are just talking, even when say you get into an argument with your girl and she say some hurtful stuff. She say like, oh, F you, you're this, you're that. You gotta know that she doesn't mean that. Now, she may mean that sometimes, but I'm saying you gotta be able to discern, okay, she don't really mean that. She just mad right now. You can't take it personal like that. The main thing I learned in life and that you should know too is you can't take a lot of things personal. Like in the Bible when it says you gotta forgive somebody 77 times, when it comes to that level of forgiveness, it comes to not taking things personal, but it comes with having wisdom and discernment, or hey, this person was acting like this just because they were going through something in their own life and they bled onto me. Not saying that it's right, but when you know that, then you know, okay, well, I can give this person more grace. I see that it wasn't really necessarily about me. It was more so about them and what they were healing through and stuff. Same thing with your girl. You gotta know that it's not necessarily about you. It's more so about stuff that she got going on. I'm not saying you gotta be your girl's therapist, but you know, it helps, you know. What I'm saying, you know, she can be your therapist too, to an extent, but I'm saying, just in my opinion, it's better to not do a bunch of venting to your girl. I'm gonna take that back a little bit. I feel like Holy Spirit told me to stop with that. So I'm saying, you know, take it back to God, but I'm saying trauma dumping is the word I'm saying. You know, it's important that you're working on yourself too. You gotta be with, you know, a girl that, you know, you can vent to, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Don't put all of your problems onto your partner. You gotta be putting in the work yourself too. So if you got a bunch of trauma, you gotta go to therapy about that. You know, you gotta heal so you're not bleeding out just onto your girl, but to other people. So when it comes to the confidence, told by the last video, when you've healed from stuff in your own life, it's easier to communicate with people. It's easier to communicate to women. Why? Because you went to therapy. You healed. You're not bringing up a bunch of stuff from your past and because you already healed from it. So she's gonna look at you and be like, oh, dang, so-and-so got solutions. So-and-so is stable. So-and-so is stoic. Why? Because you put in the work in yourself. A lot of dudes be saying stuff like, oh, see you in the gym. What about seeing you in the mental gym? The mental gym is praying, reading your Bible, therapy too. If you're not doing that, you're not hitting that gym at all, and that's how you're gonna suffer in those other areas, and it's gonna come out, cause yeah, the muscles and stuff, that can attract girls, but what keeps girls is, you know, women is, you know, the inner work that you're putting in on yourself. You gotta be mentally stable, you gotta be, to an extent, nonchalant, but most importantly, you gotta be yourself. You gotta understand that, you know, every girl's not gonna be for you. And you know, there's no problem with that because you don't want every girl either. So I'm saying, and you know, a man that finds a wife, finds a good thing. Obviously it's gonna be other girls attracted to you, but at the end of the day, you just gonna have one wife. So I'm saying, when it comes to your demeanor, how you know, come off and things like that, videos can help too. I know, like when you actually seeing yourself, how you talk, how you communicate, things like that, it just adds some more confidence because now you're putting a picture to what you already feel inside. In a way, it's kind of like, this is just the first example. I'm not gonna say this is it, but it's kind of like you're not seeing yourself in a way. So when you seeing yourself, you seeing how you move and operate and stuff like that, you got more confidence because now you can put a face to yourself, essentially. So yeah, but to end this video, I hope this helps somebody. Most importantly, you gotta be yourself. You know, you get into a relationship and you becoming together with somebody, you can't be trying to just find yourself through somebody else. You gotta already find yourself first, and then somebody else will add to yourself already, if that makes sense. But yeah, y'all let me know if you want me to make another video about this topic. I think I pretty much hit everything. It's King Sadaris. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, make sure you believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself, have confidence in Jesus Christ. You know, don't worry about making mistakes. Like when I was playing basketball, I would worry about making a bunch of mistakes, but as I got older, I just realized, nah, you make a mistake, it's whatever. Mistakes are inevitable. You just gotta roll with the punches and keep it pushing. It's King Sadaris. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.